working then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Lost her.
But we lost her?
Oh, I didn't even see.
Oh, she left.
Oh.
No, we lost her.
We lost her connection.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, we lost her. Let's wait. It's so hot in here. I can't handle this anymore.
So you're missing your home, huh?
I am, sister.
Modern technology and stuff.
Oh my God.
There she is.
She's coming back.
The good thing is that there is a swimming pool here, so probably I would just jump in and
There she goes.
Okay, let's try it again.
let's try it.
I'm concerned about moving here. Okay, let's see.
No problem.
Okay,
Good.
can you see the?
Yeah,
the
you're good.
Yeah.
Very good, my friend. So
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kiki.
so let's move on. I actually cannot see the slides myself, but if you can see that, that's already wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Kiki,
We just
and-
start with announcements, Angie. Just give us just 5 minutes. Robin, do the announcements, and then we can just the opening prayer and announcements. Quick announcements. Maybe, yeah. We don't
Okay.
even have to go over the slide, Robbie. Let's just
Yeah,
jump in.
because I can't access them when I'm sharing and I don't have them
Yeah.
written down. So,
That's
all right. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for being patient with us. And I hope everyone's day is off to a great start. It's a beautiful sunny day here. Before we get going, just make sure you check you have your water and that you have your mic on mute if you're not speaking. Brazera Spiritual Healing Center is a non-denominational spiritist center, and all religious and spiritual traditions are welcome and respected. We are part of the United States Spiritist Federation, whose beliefs are centered around scientific, philosophical, and religious principles of Spiritism. Before we get going here, I would like to invite our brother Dave to do our opening prayer, if you would.
Hey, Lord, I have little knowledge. Enlighten my mind to accept and fulfill your will. Give me a method to realize your wishes, which you have defined. That came from Omran Michael Ivanov.
Okay. Thank you, brother. I'm not, okay, I didn't hear you stop there. Sorry about that. Emmanuel taught us that knowledge and love are the two wings for our spiritual and moral evolution. This is a reason that our study today is presented in two parts. The first part is the presentation, or the knowledge that Emmanuel refers to, and your participation is always welcome. Your mentor will be supporting you with insights as we reflect upon the topic of study presented today. The second part of the healing is the love that Emmanuel refers to. Again, your mentor will be working with the BSH mediums so you can receive the healing. A beautiful opportunity for us to ground ourselves in preparation for the next week. And I invite you throughout the week, we have many opportunities to take advantage of. One of the beautiful ones is our daily prayer from about 6 to 6:30. And it's a great way just to show the gratitude you have for this beautiful opportunity presented to us all. And I seek that you take advantage of it if you have the opportunity. And we're just going to get going. I had earlier the dates for all the things that BSH offers. But let's get to our bio today for our speaker. Angy Stewart is a lawyer, postgraduate in international business and finance by NYU. Always worked in finance, speaks English, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. She's from a Catholic family, and she discovered Spiritism in 2000 due to the blossom of her mediumship. And then since then, she has dedicated herself to the study and dissemination of Spiritism. In 2007, co-founded IESS in New York, where she studied the codification and addition to spiritism for parents, children, and youth. Head counselor of the Fraternal Assistance and Iridation Treatment. In 2006, started the nursing home performances. In 2014, created a project called Loving Bags for Homeless, now in New York and in Miami. In 2017, founded the Miami Inner Light Spiritism Studies and the Volunteers of Love Charity Group. She is a practitioner of Conscious Living Spiritist Group. Today, she will be talking about Love Yourself, a beautiful topic. So let us all welcome Angy.
Thank you, my friends. Very, very sweet. I told Kiki that you could say something very short, not everything, but super happy to be here with you all again. Sorry for this confusion, but the time zone is always like a issue in our lives. So let's go quickly to the presentation so I don't take so much extra time of all of you. Can you just confirm you see the slides? Very good. So let's go. So love yourself is such an important topic. And many times we don't think about it. But during the time of the pandemic, we saw that so many people got depressed and got so many other issues. And you know, yes, the difficulties of being alone in your house, not being able to go to the work in your own office, or a lot of people lost their jobs. So lots of issues that made this even more important for us to understand. So I want to start showing something that I did research. I did research about the psychology, about love yourself. So why some people, even despite of all their difficulties, all their the hardships they are facing, they still can love themselves and feel happier even when so many problems are happening. But others that actually have a consider happy life have a very hard time. So in psychology, they mention that everything is connected with our childhood. So how was our childhood? Was it very difficult? Did we have a mother and father? They were always fighting. Or if we didn't have a mother and father, we were living in a place that was a little dysfunctional, a lot of curse, a lot of hard times. And you can just imagine little kids living throughout it. And then instead of good words, nice words, positive words, that's what we were listening. We were listening like, oh, you were ugly, you're stupid, you are not worth it. Why did we ever had you? So things that they were like imprint in these kids since they were little. And this is one of the reasons that can make love yourself more difficult. I'm not saying it's all of them because it can come later on, but this is what psychology explains. And they also explain that when you have like a loving family, when you have like a mother and father that try to be good parents and they demonstrate to you they love you, even if they're having difficulties, and even if like every normal family, we have our fights, we have our disagreements, we have our problems, but in the end, instead of horrible things, this child was listening, I love you, you're special, mommy and daddy are having problems, but we both care so much about you. So this is something that constitutes the base to make us an adult with like a stronger feelings. So with a higher self-esteem. Then we go to this auto-analysis that we have to think about ourselves. How are your own feelings? How are myself in this situation? So we know that our flaws, they always bring us down. So we many times we recognize, why did I explode on that person? Why did I do that? Why did I act in this way? So it's important for us to really recognize what we are not doing so well. But it's also very important to recognize what are qualities. Well, I don't do this anymore. This is actually very good. Or I am a natural happy person, or I enjoy helping other persons. So these are all qualities, and we all have qualities and flaws. This is natural. Every single person has it. And then we go. A lot of people say that to be happier, I need first to be accepted or successful or loved or all of them combined. What is very, very difficult, because you cannot put your own happiness into certain external situations. You cannot say, I will love myself when I find a perfect partner. First of all, there are no perfect partners. We have to love the other person with their qualities and their flaws, because we also have them. And it's important for us to understand that in the Spiritism, we also understand that, I have a quality that my partner may not have, and then I can help him to get that. And I'm sure he or her will have qualities that we will be able to combine and grow up together. So it's important for us to understand it. Do not put your happiness on external facts. And then come to this here. To love myself, I need sweets, for example. A lot of people, when they are upset, they go straight to the refrigerator. I'm going straight to the refrigerator to eat my favorite dessert, a bucket of ice cream, or this phenomenal, super sweet Brazilian brigadeiros. Now they are so fancy, so many different types. So this is one thing that's like a escape valve, like, I'm upset. Let me go to the refrigerator. But there are so many other ways. People that now the pandemic finished, I'm going to travel to, Paris. And yes, it's fantastic to travel. Everybody loves to travel. But you have to have a planning. And you can just travel because, okay, I'm upset with this person. I'm going to travel without a planning, because consequences can come. Or another very, very common is shopping, especially for us girls. We love shoes, we love bags. I love clothes, but we have to be careful. We can do these things, but these are momentary pleasures. And later on, they can bring on guilty feelings. So we have always to understand that everything we do is an action that will have a reaction. And everything we do in excess is a problem. So if we do those things, like once in a while, once in a blue moon, like Americans like to say, it's okay. We all have this. Like maybe I'm not feeling good, and yes, I actually need a new purse. So I go and I buy. That's wonderful. But if every time you have a moment that you are upset or you are angry or you have something, you do this or many other things, that's a problem. That's a red flag. So when we see here this wonderful trip to Paris that I just mentioned, this person just decided to go, had no money. I'm going to put everything in my credit card. When I come back, I see it. But when you come back, you see that you actually couldn't have done that. And now you are super stressed. So that a momentary pleasure now is actually a very hard time. It's very difficult. Another time is like, instead of going to the refrigerator and eating everything, why don't you go to exercise? A lot of people switch it. They stop exercising and they keep going to the refrigerator. And that's also a difficult problem. I'm not saying that we have always to be skinny as the models on TV that actually they are sick looking, but we have to think about our healthy habits. You know, it's okay to have some extra weight, but you have to be careful. Are you eating too much sugar? You know, the medicine, they tell us that you can develop diabetes, or too much salt, you can have a high blood pressure. And my son even told me that if you have too much water, you can die. Yes, Google. People can die of drinking excess of water. So everything is excess. It's not good. We have always to think about it. So it's important to develop auto-discipline. Auto-discipline. This will bring us this long-term treasures in our lives and the pleasures of living. So when we develop this, we will learn how to control ourselves. Oh, I'm feeling upset. Let me go to the refrigerator. No, let me stop a little bit. Maybe let me calm down. Let me do a 5-minute meditation. Let me do a prayer. Let me call a friend. Let me call Regina so Regina can boost my energy and say, Angie, come on. Na. Come to the center. Come to watch a lecture together. So we have so many things that we can do to help us to develop auto-discipline. And now let's see, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? And also try to look at yourself when you're a little bit better. Other day I cried like crazy the whole night because I watched 3 movies that were very sad. And when I look at myself in the morning, oh my God, that was really tough. So we have to learn that we are perfect. We are perfectly imperfect, the way we are. We know in Spiritism, the physical bodies that we have right now, we asked for it. Many times our guardian angels or the spirits that are the ones who help us to have a new reincarnation, they guide us. Oh, Angela, you know, maybe blue eyes is not good for you because your mother and father will not have blue eyes. It's not going to help you. Or they can even tell you, maybe you should have some kind of physical disease to help you to develop something that you fail in your previous life. So it doesn't matter how we look like. We need to learn how to love ourselves, and doesn't matter how. And we are much, much more than our external beauty. We have our inner beauty, our inner light. We all have that. We all have that. So this inner light is what we need to learn how to shine. So I'm sure you all know people that said, well, I met that person, didn't mean much to me, but after I start talking, he has so many beautiful ideas and he has this energy that we really connect, because that person is already demonstrating his inner light. And we all have it. We all have it. And we have to shine it. We have to shine our qualities, our strengths, and also our good deeds. And when we go to the Spirit's book in question 919, Kardec asks, how to develop self-improvement and resist the attraction of wrongdoing, because we are always being attracted to wrong things. We are always exposed to things. That's why we have to learn very well how to develop our free will. Our guardian angels cannot impose us the good things that we have to do. They can guide us, give us inspiration, but we will take the final decision. The answer from the Spirit's work was, a philosopher of antiquity once said, know thyself. Why? Because when we know ourselves, we know our qualities, we know our flaws, and we behave better. So I know I have all these qualities. That's wonderful. I'm a compassionate person. That's wonderful. So I can improve this. I can work even harder on this, or I can have other qualities. I can work on other qualities. But I also know my flaws. So I know I am a greedy person, or I know I can be angry really quickly. So I have to learn how to work on it, to diminish it, to make it smaller. So I will be able to actually demonstrate my qualities, enhancing it, having more qualities, and making my scale move. So my scale will move the qualities up and my flaws will diminish. That's how we have to be always tomorrow. And I'm not saying in 1 month, in 1 year, tomorrow. So what I will improve tomorrow than what I am today. We can always improve a little bit. So our scale has to change. That's how our scale has to be. So our scale has to be stronger or heavier in qualities. That's our moral improvement and how it has to be every day. And then we go to the Genesis. And the Genesis, this chapter is very big with beautiful lessons, many different lessons. But these were the ones that connected me, and it's easier to talk about. So then we see the Christ said, "You cannot understand me now. Later I will send you the Consoler, the Spirit of Truth, who will explain it all." So we know that the disciples had a closer connection with Jesus. When he spoke to the disciples, all the time he spoke directly. But when he spoke to the majority of the population, he had to speak in parables because he knew they wouldn't understand him. But when he gave parables, they would reflect, they would think. And Emmanuel even told the Chico Xavier that Jesus was very small, super far away from the multitude of people, but they could listen him in their minds, not most of the time with their ears, but the energy of Jesus was so strong when he said the parables that everybody there, they had like this impression of their minds of the story. Emmanuel mentioned that was almost like a movie that they could see in their minds. Of course, to the ones that were already prepared to grasp it. So this is very beautiful for us to understand that later on, we needed time. We were there in time of Jesus and we reincarnated many times. And then science helped us so much. So science developed, and then many of the mysteries were answered. So many of the things we had no idea how is that possible. They were answered and we understood. We're like, this is not a miracle. This is actually science. And then Spiritism came. Spiritism came and revealed the immortality of the souls, reincarnation, and the God-loving justice. So these 3 items are so important. Imagine in the time of Moses. The time of Moses, God was a God of fear. Moses had to do this because we were wild people. We were very difficult. We were not to respect anything besides fear. So Moses had to do that. If you do this, God is going to punish you. But then we evolved and we came to meet Jesus, and Jesus showed us a very different God. So in the number 32, we have a question: why do we suffer? And the answer was the spirits face consequences from their own wrongdoings. So Jesus explained to us that God is a loving Father. Jesus even mentioned in Hebrew language that God is Abba. Abba means papai, means daddy in English. Is a loving Father. And why? Why do we suffer? Because we are the ones who commit the mistakes. We are the ones who had lots of wrongdoings in the past. We imposed wrongdoings on others. And many times we have to come back to leave certain things that we did. But God, being an Abba, being a daddy, he never imposes the same thing we did. It's always so much smaller. So it's so loving that in our minds we think, oh, this person killed someone, so this person will die. And this is not correct. In Spiritism, in the beautiful books of Chico Xavier and so many others, we see it's not that. Many times this person will reincarnate as a doctor, because being a doctor, this person will give life. What he took it in a previous life, now he will give in a beautiful way. That's being a loving daddy. So the pain can be shortened if there is repentance and reparation. So that's important for us to understand. Repentance and reparation. So when we arrive in the spiritual realm, we will quickly see a movie of our previous reincarnation. And we will understand all the things we promised to do and we didn't. And we will see also mistakes we committed and we will feel bad. And then we will have time to reflect. It's not like this, it's not immediately. The spirits say that we stay usually between 50, 100 years, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's very relative, but at the time we are in the spiritual realm is a time for learning. If you read the book, Nosso Lar, you understand it. It's a time of learning, improving ourselves. And then when we recognize, we feel sorry for what we did, that's the time of reparation. That's the time we come back to earth to repair our mistakes. So again, going to the gospel on chapter 6, we have the consoling cry. So the teachings from the Spirit of truth. And then we have, come unto me, all you who suffer. Jesus said that. Believe, love, and meditate upon the new revelations that will come. And we have this message from the Spirit of truth in the gospel. So what are the new revelations? Is everything the Spiritism is giving to us, is clarifying, is helping us to understand. But we have to understand and put in practice. We can't have this beautiful doctrine and we are just like, that's nice, I like it. Well, let me give this to Charles to do. So Charles is the one who have actually to do it? No, we are the first one. We are the first one that has to do something. We have to do what we are learning. We have to stop pointing fingers. A lot of people say, oh, this lecture is so beautiful. I'm going to send it to my friend. Yes, that's awesome. We have to share. Yes, but don't think your friend has to learn because you already mastered it. Nah. We are still children learning. Yeah, maybe we are actually a little bit better in some aspects, but we have always to be improving. Remember, better tomorrow than today. And yes, share with your friends too, but think about I'm doing that and I'm 100% like this. Let's see. So love one another is the first teaching. Educate yourselves is the second. So we have in our future scale, we have to be like Jesus and how the enlightened spirits, they have in a very high scale love for everybody, but they have a very high scale, the intellect, the intelligence. So when we go to the Spirit's book, there is a classification that Kardec put there, and it divides the spirits in 3 main levels. And then from these 3 main groups, there are many subgroups. And when he talks about the enlightened spirits, he mentions that they are extremely elevated in love but they are extremely elevated in intelligence, and they can help us. And we also saw Chico Xavier, for example, in a meeting with many important scholars in the past. That's actually a book about this. Don't remember the name, maybe some of you know it, but it's a book that it talks about this interview. There were doctors, there were scientists, there were mathematicians, there were engineers, there were nuclear physicists present there, and they were asking questions to Chico Xavier. And was not only Emmanuel there answering, but many spirits. And he spent hours and hours and hours going through all these very scientific questions. And all the people present, they were like, wow, yes, he's right. Or many of them said, no, this is not right. But then 20 years later, they end up discovering what Chico Xavier said in the past was right, but science had not discovered it yet. So this is just to understand these enlightened spirits were helping. And the Chico Xavier was just trying to demonstrate to them, he himself was not answering this. He had help from the spirits. This was at the time in Brazil, they were trying to understand if this mediumship was some kind of craziness of his imagination. But how can you imagine something of a person that didn't even finish the junior high school answering this type of questions? Very difficult. So it had to be something external from him. So when you love yourself, you have to understand that you cannot accept this type of relationship. You love yourself and you have to learn how to say no. I'm not going to accept an abusive relationship. And it doesn't need to be a husband. It can be a neighbor, it can be a son, it can be anyone. You have to say, stop it. I understand your point. We don't need to go to this level of aggression many times. And we also need to learn how to stop being a people-pleasing. People-pleasing is that person that does not know how to say no. It says yes to everything. Yes to, let's put something here. Yes to work on my weekends. Yes to arrive early. Yes to leave late. Yes to finish your work today. Yes to what happened in the end? The person that only knows how to say yes becomes extremely stressed and frustrated. So it's important to say no. I'm not saying all the time, but when you don't feel capable of doing it, it's important that you say, maybe not today, another time, maybe next week. And this is also important. You know, these three girls, and they are here saying, I wish I was thinner. I wish I was shorter. And the other one, I wish I had big boobs. So a lot of people are like that. We are unhappy with whatever we have. So we go back to the beginning. We have to love ourselves the way we are. There will be never a person absolutely happy with what they have. But when we learn how to be happy with whatever we are, we get out of this situation. And then we come to be thankful. This is the most important thing. We have to learn to be thankful for everything. There is a beautiful poem, Prayer, that Divaldo Franco loves to say at the end of his lectures. That's a poem that talks about our physical body. And the poem goes on and on saying, I love my body. I love my ears because I can hear. I love my eyes because I can see, and goes on and on and on. And it's so true. And we never think about that. We think about, oh, I wish I had a car. I wish I had this. But why don't we start being happy from what we are, from what we have? Thank you so much for this beautiful Spirit Center. Thank you so much for the internet. Because during the pandemic, we were able to be connected and continue studying and seeing all these faces. So be thankful. That's one of the most important things. And this is really a to-do list. It's really a to-do list. If you are feeling unhappy, if you feel that you need to enhance your loving energy, please write it down. I just put the 3 items. So you have to write down your 3 flaws because you need to work on them to diminish them. And 3 qualities that you may already have and you want to enhance, and you have to work on this, or 3 qualities that you don't have and you want to have. But this is a homework that each one of you have to do it. Because if you just say, oh, they're good, then you are not going to do it. When we write in a piece of paper, we actually are forced to work on it. We are like, okay, anger. So today I'm going to work on my anger issues and I'm going to start my process of changing. So do this homework. And this here, I love this because love yourself as you are. And I am that little girl upside down there. I was always like this, always different, always loud and super talkative. And it's fine. I love myself this way. And it's super, super okay if people think, I don't like her way. And it's totally fine. We are totally different. So each one can love the persons they feel good. But the more important thing is love yourself this way. If you are the upside down girl, yes, that's totally fine. And just to finalize, I'm sure you all know Malala. She is really a hero. She fights for the rights of girls. She was shot in Pakistan in her head for doing it. She survived, and this is her sentence. We were scared, but our fear was not as strong as our courage. And that's how we have to be. We have to be strong and be courageous to love ourselves. Thank you, my friends.
Hey, thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. I know for myself, just reflecting on like when I work on myself, like where my happiness comes from. That took a while for me to really look at and to catch on to what you were talking about, these little habits I had formed. The job brings me happiness. You know, of course, our material items is a really short-lived happiness, but we attach to these patterns and we just keep doing them without really thinking. And when I stopped to actually reflect what I was doing, I realized, wow, that because I was studying Buddhism as well as Spiritism and everything else. And it was like, it's short-lived, temporary happiness. That's not what I want to pursue, but to go within and to understand that my happiness needs to come from within me and can't be based on any sort of conditions. So that really resonates with me, as well as does love, understanding love, as I find as I continue forward that I have to go back and revisit my understanding of certain concepts, kind of check in to see if I was correct or if I can modify them in a way that will make things better for me and everyone around me. So thank you so much. And I open it up because I'm sure there'll be a lot of other comments. And so thank you so much again.
Thank you. I hope I stopped sharing. I don't really know how to use Zoom. I hope I stopped sharing the screen.
No.
Not yet. At the top of Zoom.
Gosh, how do I do that?
She can just stop sharing and then we can see who.
Press
That's what she's saying. Yeah.
Angie, press the escape key.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I closed the window. Good.
You did, sweetheart. You did. You did a very good job. And even in this day of the world that we are coming out of a pandemic after 2 years of a lot of news, a lot of sadness, a lot of departing. And my gosh, it's a lot of contradictions in the word. I was just thinking when you were doing your speech presenting good information that I was just think, my gosh, during this pandemic, so many contradictions. Who can have the shot, cannot have? Why do I have? Why do I not? And I was so many situations there. It was just simple to say, if I love myself enough, no, do I want to be protected by a virus that is in the world? So that was a very good, important to say. If I love myself enough, some others choose to not have the shot, but if I love myself enough, I will eat better. I will take my care better of myself, and I will do not need to take the shot, but I will do my part because I'm loving myself too. I believe our brother Robbie did that, and he even had the virus, but I think in the situation he has, he could handle this better than any other people. So today, in our days, we are having this situation, having the war, and we have to witness this inside of our own home. This is so painful. And when you're talking about shopping and things, that we try just to camouflage our insight, our feelings, our anxieties, emotions. So what we do, sometimes we go in shopping. Like you said, it's a few moments of pleasure. But since the start of the war, I got so panicked. I cannot be witnesses one brother killing another brothers. It is so painful. And so all the desire to buy anything is gone because I cannot in this moment. I have to control myself for not being so into the pain and the difficulties our brothers and sisters are living right now, one killing others protecting themselves and have to kill the brothers and sisters. So all the judgment and criticism and this very difficult time and lessons that we are living now, and we can see the bravery of our brothers and sisters, some losing their, not losing, but finding their strength, their power, their force, their faith, and in a protective way. It is a self-love too, because I have to be strong. I have to find the strength, not just to protect myself, to protect my family, to protect my community, to protect my country. And then I've heard yesterday, someone was interviewed, and he's a religious person, and he said, how can I love my enemy right now? How can I love myself right now and hate my enemy? And he said, I know, I study in the Bible, and our Lord Jesus say that we must forgive our enemies. I'm trying to work that self-love, to find forgiveness, to love and forgive my enemy. I felt that so amazing. A Ukrainian young man was saying that on TV. So, but all you brought, it is a very good touch to our soul and food to our hearts for us to evaluate this self-love. We do not give up. That more we love ourselves, we can share with our brothers and sisters, whatever they are in the world, that we are here to support one another. I appreciate it. Thanks so very much.
Wow, Angie, you hit a whole bunch of points. I'm like, wow, another blast. Woo, another blast. To believe, to love, to look at your behaviors, analyze what you're doing. Don't just go blindly into doing something. Look at it, especially if you're asking God for help all the time. You have to analyze what you're doing. it was beautiful. I really, really loved it. I think this, even at this time, the pandemic did bring about a lot of anxiety, a lot of young people committing suicide, and not knowing how to get out of it. That kind of got stuck in that energy. But your presentation is absolutely marvelous. I love it. And there's a young man I would love to see it. I don't know if he'll watch it, but he's been very, very depressed, and maybe to help, I don't know.
I know you guys have an important work of prayers too, and it helps so much, so much, so much. And it helped us first. My little group here, we also have this prayers group that we pray for a lot of people with all kinds of difficulties, and we have a treatment that they can actually participate from their homes. So they are not in the meeting, but they're in their homes, and in that moment they are praying, connecting. But the feedback from them is so amazing. But again, we have to do our part. So they recognize they need prayers. They recognize they need help.
Yes,
And then we say, we can offer you prayers to boost your energy. It doesn't matter your religion. And it's amazing that a lot of the ones who said, okay, I want to commit to this help, they come back and they say, oh, it helped me so much. Or they say, it's amazing, a person that I haven't seen call me and help with this. And I think it's because my thoughts are changing a little bit. So I congratulate you guys also for your work of prayers, because everybody needed during the pandemic, especially. We always need, but the pandemic, war, all these things that make us naturally have a tendency to go down and to be more depressed. Another thing we have to understand also, that we have to share positiveness, because when we share something good, we are attracting it. And I'm talking about social media. There is a lot of horrible things already being shared. But if we can share something good, like, for example, what Tanya just mentioned, like of the soldier saying how difficult it is to forgive the enemy. He knows he has to do it, but it's so difficult. And this is something that everybody is thinking. But a lot of people are thinking, no, let's kill them all, let's destroy. This is not going to help. This is just going to make things worse. So let's share good things. Let's pray for Russia. Let's pray for Putin, because they are the ones who need most of prayers at this moment. And I know it's difficult to do it, but they need it. They need it. When we read the books of André Luiz, we see in the lower zones, in the umbral, all the spirits that hate so much. And it's so difficult for them to come back. And usually only their moms are the ones that are able to rescue them. And in that brief moment, they wake up and they cry like babies. So we all need help.
Angie, thank you. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I love how you take sometimes very complex things and break them down to really simple golden nuggets we can take with us. You know, you had some wonderful slides with these 2 or 3 bullets that I just went, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So very cool. Very, very appropriate for this time. We often times in strife think about everything else except ourselves, and realize the harm we are doing by not being as good as we can be. And that's one of the key messages I take from today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Angie, thank you for the one you brought in about let your courage be greater than your fears. That's short and sweet, and it's a good shrink wrap package. You can use it anytime. Thank you.
Awesome.
Does anybody else have any comments for Angie? I do say it's nice for us, as I took away as well, is to be conscious of our thoughts, to be conscious what we're doing, and to focus. Like for myself, I'm realizing my desires and expectations are one thing. And when I start to go there now, when I'm not getting my way or when I'm giving energy where it shouldn't be, I try to pull back and reflect on gratitude for everything I have now, instead of what I'm not getting, or if it's not going my way, to just reflect, be grateful for all I have, and kind of change the direction my thoughts are going. But once again, thank you. And maybe we take 2 minutes and come back at 10 after. And then we can begin the meditative part. And bring your water, and also add in the chat box any names that you would like for prayers.
Thank you so much, Angie, once again, for being with us, participating with us, is helping us to study together. So that is the only way, with the examples and the teachings, we can get being better human being and to be a better servant. I appreciate what you do. And we have the prayer we have every day, 6 p.m. California time. We have every day to keep this energy and the room, the Zoom, that we can every 6 p.m. what trouble we are passing during the day, we have this group to assist, to help. You just come in and listen to prayers or participate with the prayer. When finished, we feel renewed and ready for one more day. I appreciate it. Thanks so very much, sweetheart.
Thank
Don't
you so
disappear
much.
from us, okay?
Remember, together we are stronger. So congratulations to all of you. This is a blessing. Thank you so much.